Hey, welcome to Travel Talk Tuesday for October the 19th, 2021. And even though I'm in the Amalfi Coast, one of the famous seaside villages here in Italy, tonight we're talking about the Cinque Terre villages, about 200 miles to the north in the Ligurian Sea, the Mediterranean Sea, the Ligurian coast. I hope you enjoy the look around today as we talk about Travel Talk Tuesday. The last two villages in this series, the village of Corniglia, which is located high up on the mountaintop, and the village of Vernazza, which has a beautiful little harbor. Recently I spent about a 10-hour day hiking through all the villages in the Cinque Terre, and this episode that you're going to watch tonight on Travel Talk Tuesday is about the last 3 hours or so of the day when I visited Corniglia and when I visited Vernazza and had dinner. So enjoy the show. I'll be back with you at the end to talk to you about it and to wrap up this episode. Enjoy the Cinque Terre tonight. By the way, my Cinque Terre hiking pass covers the price of the bus as well to get me to the top of town. So here is the bus. So this is the bus stop here in Corniglia. It looks like the last bus down to the train station for tonight is at 7:15, so I'm going to be on that. So I've got about 45 minutes here to show you around this little hilltop town of Corniglia. Via Fieschi. So this town has a very different look and feel than the other four villages in that it is a hill town. So similar in character to, say, the hill towns in Tuscany, maybe like Volterra or San Gimignano, except not nearly as crowded. And it's so near to the sea. What's so great about it is the seafood, and the food here is just fresh right out of the ocean. I've had some of the best antipasti di mare here in this town. You can order that up, and for 15 or 20 euro, you get 10 different samples. Pretty cool to do that. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that tonight. This is a cool little garden for an appertivo, along with this little shop. This man's having his ham and cheese. This is the main town square here in Corniglia. It's way up on the highest part of the mountain on the hill. It's probably about maybe 50 yards wide and 30 yards deep. 3-4 restaurants right here spill out onto the main piazza. From the main piazza, narrow lanes continue to go downhill progressively past little shops and everything, and finally head down to a wonderful viewpoint that looks out over the sea. And as you'll see, I'll turn the corner here, and a beautiful sunset as well. There's a little bar here that's got a few tables, but the view right here is this, and many people, as you can see, are there for the evening. Bring their own little drink and whatnot and just enjoy the sunset views from Corniglia over the Mediterranean Sea. That viewpoint was into town, so The only way to get back to the bus stop is go right through town again, but I've got a few minutes to kill before I catch the bus back down the hill, and so I'm looking for some place that I can get a view and get a little refreshment. As you can see, this narrow little alleyway goes down about 60 or 70 feet, and it looks over the terraced vineyards, kind of looking back to the northwest. So just a great opportunity to get an idea of the vineyards, olive groves, and the dry stone walls called Mura Secco. One of the Santuario villages up here above town, and you can also see part of the road that you have to drive into the Cinque Terre. That's not been here for many decades. Sometime in the early 20th century or so, they started constructing roads into here, but this place is wild and rugged. Here you can see a lot of the vineyards down below. Looking back to town, this is the area where the bus stop is. And then the church, so for the bus stop you go up into that portion of town, but that's about the end of town. So Corniglia is not very large, and you can see it in an hour, but if you want to experience it, I'd say come to the main square back here and have dinner. Great experience, very quiet and peaceful. So I'm gonna wrap Corniglia up from right here because I'm gonna catch my train in a few minutes, heading back down to the next village of Vernazza, which will conclude my whirlwind tour of the Cinque Terre today post-COVID. So listen, I'll catch you in Vernazza. Your adventure starts right here from Corniglia with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Ciao, buona serata. Okay, arriving now finally at the Vernazza station. So from the platform, it's just straight down to the main street to the harbor. So again, it's the end of September, 7:30 in the evening. So it's very quiet now here in the city center. Just like every other town we visited today, this road here is covering a river that's down below it. And as a matter of fact, some years ago, this town was inundated with a massive mudslide and huge rainstorm that in the period of 1 hour just flooded this place with mud and water up to the second levels of all of these shops here. And so I'll share that information with you as we walk down the street and as we visit Vernazza. But this is probably the most famous town of the Cinque Terre, the most photographed town of the Cinque Terre. I don't know if it's the most photogenic town of the Cinque Terre, but it's made popular in some guidebooks and has made the people that live here in this town have a really good business nowadays because of the popularity of this town. You can see it's almost like walking through a little fake medieval village almost at Disney World, but believe me, these structures date back from early Middle Ages, from the 700s, 800s, And just imagine there being water here where the street is. The river's down another 15 feet or so, and these houses were on the banks of the river. Their picturesque little side alley is going up every which way, very similar to the old town of Monterosso as well. I'm coming to the end of the street, and it opens wide open into the harbor here. There's several restaurants that surround the harbor. Maybe this time of year there's not so much going on. This place here is typically open. A couple of other restaurants, the town church, the harbor out this way, another restaurant here. I'm gonna walk out just around the way and see if we can get a view from the other side. So I'm walking out along the promenade around the harbor's edge. When I first started coming to the Cinque Terre, this wasn't even possible to do because it was just rocks and everything, so you had to pick your way out. But you can see some folks are out here enjoying the evening, laying on some flat rocks, looking back up to the town. Here I am still walking down this path on the very extreme side of the harbor. And in the daytime, these rocks will be filled with people basking in the sun and enjoying a day. These rocks, although they don't look too inviting, are pretty nice to lay a towel down and lay in the sun. I'm not going to walk out on it, but right out here is a rock where I always end up trying to claim a spot to bask in the sun. Charlotte and I found this 10 years or so ago and really enjoy it, and you have to jockey for it. But it's a flat rock. You can lay towels where two people can lay there. But then you have these wonderful views of Vernazza Harbor and the church, and it just doesn't get any better than that. So I'm gonna try to find somewhere to have dinner and get back on the train in an hour or so and head on back to my home village of Monterosso Amare. So, my second and last time at the harbor in Vernazza for this year, 2021, a crazy COVID-19 year. But at least I did a couple of tours on the books. One last spin around the church. I've got the train station up the street here, and I've got 10 minutes to get up there, back to my village of Monterosso. So listen, thanks for sticking with me and checking out the villages of the Cinque Terre today. This is no different than any year, COVID or not. Late night, it's only 9:30. Summer it would be 10:30. But everybody's cleared out of these towns. This is Vernazza. Restaurants are closing down. Everybody's rolling up the doors, going to bed. This is how it works. So I say stay in the Cinque Terre. Spend a couple of 3 nights. You'll enjoy it. Right here in this piazza. I don't know when I first came here to film, 2006 or 7 or so. We were here in March, and I met some locals right here by this telephone, believe it or not, that were willing to give me some fresh herbs picked from the gardens. Timo, basilico, salvia, and what a great experience. Okay, after 9.5 hours of touring the Cinque Terre, I've arrived back in Monterosso at the train station. I'm heading back through the new town, through the tunnel, to the old town, to my hotel. I hope you enjoyed this experience of seeing the Cinque Terre in 9.5 hours. I think I could edit it down so it'll be pretty good for you guys to watch. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this look around the Cinque Terre villages of Corniglia and Vernazza tonight on Travel Talk Tuesday. Next week, I'll be reporting live from my kitchen about the adventures I've had here in the Amalfi Coast and the islands surrounding the Bay of Naples, of Ischia and Corniglia. What a great adventure we're having, and wrapping it up in the next couple of days. But thanks for watching Travel Talk Tuesday tonight, and I'll catch you next week live from Middleburg, Florida. Hey, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring New York. See you next week. Ciao. Hey, you can tell the promenade here in Monterosso is pretty dead too. 9:30 at night. It is late September. Let me just show you some of the little beach umbrellas down here, all squared away, ready to open up for in the morning. But this place closes down pretty early this time of year. Again, this is a pretty cool tunnel here in Monterosso Amare, and it's almost 10 o'clock at night. I'm about the only one in here, but pretty cool. I'm walking from the old town behind me. I'm walking from the new town behind me, Vigine, to the old town. So we're talking about the old town behind me. Crap. We're talking about the new town behind me, built in the 1800s, going into the old town in front of me, built in the 900s. Kind of crazy, but that's how the Cinque Terre is. But that's how it is in the Cinque Terre. Here we go, popping out of the end of the tunnel into the old town from the Middle Ages. Gosh, we go back a whole century to the 700s and 800s for this town. Can you see why I like this? There goes the train. Here's somebody on one of these little motorized bikes. A few walkers, but the town's pretty much closing down. Hey, your adventure starts here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Hey, David McGuffin here. I'm in the old town of Monterosso Amare in the Cinque Terre. I spent 10 hours going from each of the 5 towns, doing a little video montage in each town. And it was fantastic today, although I am totally worn out. I wanted to let you know that I've spent the last 30 years showing people around Europe on all of my tours. We have 23 itineraries all over Europe, and we operate these tours year in, year out, winter, spring, summer, and fall. And we'd love to have you come and check out our tours and travel with us. Small groups, 6 to 18 people in each group. Check it out at davidmcguffin.com. That's davidmcguffin.com. We'd love to have you travel with us and experience Europe a little bit different from behind the windows of a big tour bus with a large tour group. Hey, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Hey, David McGuffin here. I'm in Monterosso al Mare. I've spent the better part of the day running around from one village to the other in these Cinque Terre villages, 5 villages. I'm right here by Hotel Pasquale. So if you're looking to do a little bit of traveling, I've got 30 years experience of people traveling with me, and we have 23 different tour routes all over Europe. And so if you can't find seats on some tours, the big bus tours or the big cruise tours, or even that guy from Seattle who's made this town famous and advertises it on public TV, and even goes to this hotel, your adventure could start right here with me. We've got seats available all next year. I'd love to have you travel with us. It's davidmcguffin.com. That's davidmcguffin.com. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe for Monterosso al Mare. Ciao for the Cinque Terre. Buona serata. Okay, finishing up a long day in the old town of Monterosso al Mare. I'm walking up to my hotel at the main drag via Roma. I've spent 10.5 hours now showing you around the Cinque Terre. Ristorante Choc over here. Still a few people there, but all the chairs are up. The church is here. But I hope you have enjoyed this look around the Cinque Terre, because there is no better place to experience the real Italy and the real seaside Italy, the seafood from the sea, from the mare, and small little villages than right here in the Cinque Terre. Wow, it's 10 o'clock, the bell's tolling. Monterosso al Mare, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Ciao, buona serata from Monterosso al Mare.